If you want to know that Zimbabwe has got powerful CID that does not need CCTV, this is the cases that you get to know. As long as death is not politically affiliated, let me tell you, you will see the excellence of the Zimbabwean police in action. They are very good. With this one, they are not very, very far from identifying the perpetrators. Listen to what I'm telling you very closely. They are not very, very far from identifying the perpetrator. Soon and very soon, they are going to be. I don't want to give them more than 72 hours. They would have come up with the correct people. How? This is what shows you that the Zimbabwean intelligence is serious. The CID, Homicide Department, those people are excellent in their dues. I don't underestimate them. With this one, they will get it right. From what I'm told, it's more to do. I don't want to hinder investigations, but from what I am told, it's got more to do with relationships and family there. So,
welcome to Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So, without any further ado, let's delve right into it. People, I hope I find you well. Well, I think it's been a day or two, but finally I'm here just with a few updates. We start with the sad story of the late Mutangadura. You know, it's not anything that you wish on anyone. I want to believe every person deserves to live life, and there's no one person who's qualified to shortcut another person's life. What happened there in Rua is very sad. Not a lot of information has been shared to people for them to try and understand exactly who the culprits were. But all you know is one of the people, according to Crime Watch, to you guys, right? According to Crime Watch, to you guys, was caught at Gazebo. Gazebo, right? The chairman for that area, the Gazebo area, is Mdara Chikanga. Mdara wangu chaya wemuhomo. Indoziya vanhu. Kana mamusikaziye, ini ndinoziya vanhu zvekudaro chaizvo. Achikanga is ZANU-PF chairperson of that area, where the first suspect was caught, and it is believed that there were 7. Let me leave it there. But sadly, the guys were foolish. That's all I can say without divulging much. Like I told you, you've got to understand how technology works. If you don't understand how technology works, please don't tamper, especially with sensitive things, sensitive information, and sensitive attacks. You'll just be nabbed just like that. In a blink of an eye, you'll be caught. Technology has moved. You can remove the SIM card from the phone and put it. Listen, there's so many things now that's happening. Very soon, I think from within the end of this year or from next year, we are going to have what we call seamless mobile phones. That technology is just about to be released. I remember I was in one of the conferences seeing how it works. Technology is moving. We also have got cards that don't have chips anymore, but are tap-on cards. To people that live in the United Kingdom and those who live in London specifically, there's what we call the Oyster card. The very same technology on that card is the very same technology that's now going to be applied now on mobile phones. To those who are outside of London, there's a tap-on card which doesn't have any chip on it. There's now what we call fibered. We call them fibered cards. Yeah, even if you break it, you won't see anything in between. But there's close to invisible lines set in there. So you can't do nothing and think you can get away with it. Technology has moved. When that happened, my phone call came, and I was speaking to one or two people, and I'm like, so what's the position? They were telling me, if you look at this video that I did send, first time I did not blush about. I knew definitely these guys were going to be caught. I said, give them 72 hours and you will see that Zimbabwean CID is very efficient. Anything that doesn't have to do with politics, they will give you the information. They will get you just like that, because there's no limitations, there's no barriers, there's no threats. It's just direct. They will nab you just like that. Mutangadura's death, I told you openly that it wasn't anything political, but it had everything to do with family feud and his relationship. I said it in the first video, and that was it, and I never went on to shed more information. Information is still drawing along those lines, and I can tell you that usually I don't miss. What I know about myself, I can say things that you don't want to hear, but one thing for a fact, I'm 99.9% there with information. How I get it, you don't need to know. But all I know is I'm always there 99.9%. So very soon, you're going to be hearing some developments. Yep. Obviously, when such an incident happens, they draw so many lines of inquiry to try and figure out what could have happened. So they've got so many options. But the way that happened and the clues that were there, when I was speaking to some guys who do investigations, I actually said this doesn't seem like a complicated one. It should be a very simple one. If these lines, I think you'll get it right. Remember, I'm a systems analyst. That's my job. I'm not a CIO like what other people say, or I don't know. I'm just a systems analyst. Analyzing a system is the very same thing that investigating officers do. You've got to make sure that you think the way the robber is thinking, and you think the way the intelligent person has to be thinking. Then you try and meet them together. There's a way you think, I don't know, maybe it's a gift, I don't know, but there's a way you think for you to come up with the correct thing. And most of the time, you're always close to the truth. Right, let's move away from there. But all I can tell you is, while it's in this sad moment, I'm very happy to the fact that one has been nabbed and the others, they cannot even cross borders. Don't worry, they cannot even cross borders. Don't worry. Everything is being closed properly. And I can tell you that they're just within the net for them to be unveiled to the people. Few little things just need to be done. But even if you hide in a hole, still you'll be identified, you'll be picked. So this case is soon going to come to an end. Right, let me come to the next issue. The next issue is my good friend, my favorite, Sabhuku. He has just come out blazing. He was on HSTV with Blessed Dara. And you know Sabhuku is an orator. Sabhuku can talk. Once you give him the platform, he will say whatever he wants. I've always told you to take note that Sabhuku does not speak for himself. He has been groomed into politics perfectly well to deal with certain situations. Whatever has happened, every time you'll see, if you've never noted or get to know politics, every time Honorable Muchangwa speaks, you should realize that, or you should note that, or take note that it is Sabhuku who comes to counter attack. Why Sabhuku? Because Sabhuku, to me, is an outside spokesperson for ZANU-PF, and there's no hiding about anything here. One thing you've got to know is Sabhuku speaks for the sitting president. So that's exactly the position that we have. But some people might be having questions. I had some people come to me and were asking me, Apostle, and I'm like, yes, what's the problem? They're like, you know what? The politics we know from Zimbabwe, a person of Honorable Muchangwa by now should have been shut up straight away. How come he just keeps saying whatever he says, and he walks confidently, and you can even tell that he's not afraid of nobody. He just says what he wants to say. Right now, he's opposing what was said by a qualified legal personnel, right? And all of a sudden, he's just trying to override what has been said. He's putting pressure at one point. All those that were posted about Kudata Gray, at one point it was posted and then brought down, and before you know it, it was put back again after he had spoken. Who exactly is he? Let me tell you where his power is, so that you know why they are a powerful tag team with his wife, my favorite mother, Mai Mutangwa. Right, I respect all of them. That's one thing about me. I think that's what makes it easy for me to knock on doors, because I respect all of them in their hustles. I respect all of them in their positions. So at the end of the day, this is where their power lies. Honorable Muchangwa served as ambassador for Zimbabwe in China for years. I want to believe you are the longest serving High Commissioner in China for Zimbabwe, representing Zimbabwe. I want to believe so. If my thing serves me right, I want to believe I'm correct. Because he lived in China for too long, he forged a relationship with the Chinese government. He forged a relationship even with the first family of China. And you know nobody starts on China, yeah? Nobody starts on China. And for most deals to come to Zimbabwe, he is the architect behind it. He is the engineer behind it. And the elimination of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, I know most of you might not have taken note. He was the guy touted to say now he's got the driving force and the vision of where Zimbabwe wants to go. I know most of you are getting surprised by what I'm saying. I'm going to have to show you a video from one of my big brothers saying it on SABC. I know some of these videos, you didn't get to see them. Only people like myself who follow everything and who know certain people was following on such. There's a video I'm going to show you here from Mukoma Philip saying, now let's see what the Muchangwas are now going to do in driving the economy forward. The Manhize project, it is Honorable Muchangwa who has set it up for it to be up and running. So he has got that strong backing of China. That's why he's so sensitive to touch. But a person of temper will be very good. Will be a very good character to be dealing with him. If you look in Norton there, when they were contesting, you would see that there's always been Honorable Muchangwa being the candidate, Norton constituency, Honorable Muchangwa being the candidate for ZANU-PF, and Honorable Temba Mliswa, who's now Sabhuku, being the independent. Before we talk about Richard Tsvangirai Jr., who has now taken over in Norton. To have Richard Tsvangirai Jr. take over was not a problem, even with the sitting, was not much of a problem. Because Honorable Temba has now taken what we call a good robe on himself to be a Sabhuku. Meaning to say the Mutapa project cannot be discussed in his absentia. And you know he is a voice and he is an eye for the president. So those are very critical characters when they stand up and speak. Every time they open their mouth, be very, very attentive to what they say. So with the situation in Zimbabwe brewing and going wherever it's going, you've got to know that Honorable Mliswa Sabhuku is now standing, supporting Kuda Tagire, saying everything good about him. He is even telling you the history of where he came from, how far he has come with the party, how he has been supporting and funding the party, how he has supported and funded almost everyone within ZANU-PF. Even the opposition, like I told you, Kudata Gwire at one point was backing Chamisa, in case you didn't know that. So this is a master who has just come onto the scene unexpectedly, because most people that used to be funded by him never thought he would one day have the desire, the zeal, or the will to be wanting to be within the Politburo and the Central Committee. Reason it said he wants to be there. Most people are pointing to the presidential position, but it might not be it. But one thing for a fact, they are saying he is coming in there because he has got to protect his business interests and all his investments within the country. So nothing can be discussed in his absentia, because before then, everything he would hear it from people that would have sat in the Central Committee and in the Politburo. But now if he sits in there, he has got the right to be asking the correct questions for him to protect his business interests as well as the position of the party and the investors. As of now, I don't have much to say. Let me just conclude by giving you just a hint. People, I know you like to hear negative things. If you look at the death of the late Mutangadura, a lot of people were trying to marinate the government. Government is involved in this. That's why you can't knock on their doors, because you are just seeing them as enemies. There is a time you need to say, right, you know what, let me be critical, right? But let me have some constructiveness in it. So constructive criticism is not much of a problem. Anyone can welcome it. If I do something, I think I would also love constructive criticism. Tell me 2 good things about what I've done, then tell me where you think I need to correct or to improve. To me, I will welcome every person who says that, rather than any person who just come to shout, to attack, and to try and connect me with negative things, even where you were not present. That was said to all those who try to link up politics to the death of the late Mutangadura. In the last conclusion, we push. Let's go. The guy that used to clap hands for, what's his name? Wellington Masiwa, Nyoka Emabuna. I'll tell you one more time and one last time. If court proceeds and that young guy is released, he is going to be deported to Zimbabwe. I told you his chances of being released in September are very high. But you people who always clap hands, you are not doing your part to try and save the life of that young guy. Because whatever he has been held for, if he's left to go, right, if he's left to go, released in court, the foreign land, if you're in a foreign land, the next thing that takes you up soon after you're released from court by the gates or by the doors is the immigration. They want to verify your immigration status. Whether you are in Australia, America, Britain, Canada, Australia, wherever you are, the minute you've got a case going in court, once you are released, the next people that takes over, if you're a foreigner, is to verify your immigration status. And like I told you in my previous video, that young guy's immigration status is known to all. He doesn't have the right papers to be living in South Africa. So deportation is automatic. And for him not to be deported, you guys need to work to make sure that a file is activated for him. There's a file, but it's dormant. Yeah, there's a file, but it's recessive. It's not active for it to defend him. Even the solicitors can come here and tell you what I'm telling you. There's a file right within the court, but that file is not one that's going to defend him because it's not progressed. I told you he doesn't have fingerprints taken. They are needing 50,000 rands. Above all, he also has got what do you call it? The GoFundMe that you guys created. It has been advertised on some of the platforms like the 0.5 Creative, the Cooliant. I've seen you guys advertise all that. But I'm not seeing you announcing how much has been raised. Even if people are not putting in anything, announce how much you've got so that people will know that they are not playing their part. People, put your hands together. Put something in that GoFundMe account. Put something in the solicitor's accounts. Try save the young guy. But one thing for a fact, when he comes, please don't pressure him to do anything to do with politics. Allow him to recover and make sure that he steps out of politics. Because he should have learned from here now that yes, when you are doing what people want to hear, they are clapping hands for you. But when you are in trouble and you need, nobody stands up for you. Right now, I want to believe the accounts are on zero. If I want to be very honest with you, the accounts are on zero. Right? So that needs to be stopped. Help the young guy. Contribute every penny you can contribute and move forward to try and help him. Start to advertise the GoFundMe account that you think you've got for him. At the very same time, there's some trust accounts that have been opened for the solicitors. Nothing is being put in there, but people are topping up their data every day just to shout at other people. Try and do something constructive. I'm here, the neutral person who always knows how to knock doors for you on the right offices for you to be pardoned. I have done my part. I'm waiting for you to do your part. That's all I can say.
The bloated cabinet has always been his concern.
He's a great strategist and he's a businessman, excellent. And if he can do work on energy, so that when we have energy, our manufacturing industries can begin to blossom. And then with the wonderful people like Comrade Chris Mchangwa, if he was to end the foreign affairs ministry to mobilize the international world to come in, I know that we will go somewhere.
Mnangagwa is expected to appoint 2